backhoe on. So I slow down about 60 and then floor it. We'll make about 31 pounds of boost, which is quite a bit more than I used to have. Then I'll just hold her to the floor until we get up to about 70. I got a stiff headwind today. This is all an uphill grade. About the most I can get out of the EGT is about, what's that, 800? Oil pressure down is running about 35. Of course, you got to remember we just got some N14 break-in oil in it. After I get it up to speed, I back off, and then go at it again. Clear to the floor. She's not picking up speed now. This is an uphill, long uphill grade out here. Back off, let it cool down a little, and then tromp it again, do it again. Yeah, I'm clear to the floor. We're holding 60 in direct. She's not picking up speed real well. She's poking out 31 pounds. 800 is about all the hotter she's going to get if that pyrometer is correct. Which is pretty good for an old Cummins, ain't it? I thought it'd be running about 900. Anyway, the intervals of holding it to the floor for max power, I just keep doing it longer and longer. Oil temperature's 200. Transmission's really climbed up there. Must be because it's brand new. Now we're about, what, 1700 right there. Back off a little here. This is all pretty uphill, and then with the wind and the load, we're trying to figure out what we weigh. We're close to 80,000 with the weight of the truck, the gravel, the trailer, and the backhoe. Get about 14.5 tons of gravel. Truck weighs 23. Backhoe weighs 26. Imagine that eager beaver probably close to 10,000. Boy, that concerns me, that tranny temperature. That's over 200 now. That's a rough road. Ooh. quite a ways, a mile or so, 2 miles. Back off, let the tranny cool down a little. Probably pull off up here somewhere and lift the hood and have a look-see. Alright, so I stopped here because the tranny temperature was up so high. I'm assuming it because it's new, it's running that hot. So we're about 20 pounds of oil pressure at idle. It'll zoom right up, but we're still running that 1030. So one of the other reasons I stopped was I lifted the hood and looked under there at the heads, because the other day in the shop when I was charging the AC, I noticed it bubbling under the back of the head and between the front of the back of the head and the back of the second head. And so I took a picture and I sent it to Brian and I said, "What's this?" Shit. And he said I needed to get it hot, get those fire rings on the gasket hot so they'd settle in, and then the head will push it down. He said it should quit leaking after about an hour, and it has. So I'm thrilled about that. It wasn't pressurizing the cooling system, but it was leaking on the back head where the farthest bolt hole is, and it's the thinnest distance from the fire ring to the outside of the gasket. That's where it seemed to be doing it. Anyway, it's not doing it anymore, so Brian was right. I was pretty pissed about that. I thought, man, if I gotta take those heads back off, I'm gonna be mad. So I'm tickled with the way it's performing. There's absolutely no breather smoke whatsoever. None. So that's a super plus. So I'm sitting out here at what we call the flats. That road over there is called Section Road. It's about 2600 west. I live on 800 west, so I've come out here quite a bit ways. I'm thinking about going on out to the junction out here and turning around and coming back, but I'm not going to go till that gets down under 200. I've never seen a tranny get that hot. Not even my 18-speed in the Kenworth got that hot. So I hope that hasn't got a problem. Like I said, I obsess over stuff. So rather than let it sit and idle here, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. There we go. Now you can hear me good. Anyway, I never saw the pyrometer. Looking at it now, stopped. I don't think that even got to 800, probably 750, but how do you know how accurate a pyrometer is? I don't think you do. So anyway, we'll let it cool off and then go again. Okay, camera's going to be in the truck. I'm going to put the microphone with the fuzzy on it out here so you can either hear the wind or the roar of the engine.
screams in a honky-tonk and the sound of a crying steel guitar. That 59 sitting in the drive and a Bloody Mary morning light. Anything to help forget my broken heart. I've got cigarettes and whiskey, country songs that get me, and a dive outside the city where I wind up a little too much.
Looking good, looking good. Like an N14 should. So, I think I'll probably just go ahead and shut it off here for a minute. There's no reason to let it sit and idle. And then I'll just turn around and go. I got to go back to the gun range, drop the backhoe off, dump this load of gravel, and then go home. So, I think Monday I got to haul Jake some gravel, so I think I'll run it. Ooh, wish I had one of those. I think I'll run it Monday and then go home and dump the break-in oil out. I'll talk to Brian, ask him how long he wants me to run that break-in oil. And then we'll buy the John Deere 1540 plus 50. That's supposed to be really good oil. And then Brian suggested I do an overhead after I change the oil. So there's no leakage under the heads again. It's gone. So I'm pretty tickled about that. So anyway, it's awesome. That's the big butte over there. This is where I had to come and fix the filthy whore and number 2 when they broke down, because the safety boys out here wouldn't let me use my service truck because it didn't have a green sticker on it. You don't have a green sticker, you can't use your service truck. Let's see, the last time I was out here to Nut Farm was what, 2019? 2019, yeah, I'm parked next to a great big concrete pumping truck. So I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed these videos, got to see what it takes to go through a diesel engine, especially a Cummins. This was my first go around with Cummins. I was paranoid, like I've told you before, over and over, but if you take your time and do it right, it seems to work out. And that's all that matters. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Help old Jeff out. Jeff wants to get to 100,000 subscribers before he's dead.
is another thing to love.
I came here to move on. Bartender, better pour 'em strong. 'Cause I've got some things I need to drink about. Heartbreak, Lord, I've had those. Now silhouette in the shadows looks like trouble that I could do without. 'Cause I've got cigarettes and whiskey and country songs that get me, and a dive outside the city where I wind up a little too much, sipping on a memory. That bottle's far from empty. The last thing I need is another thing to love.
I've got cigarettes and whiskey, country songs that get me, and a dive outside the city where I wind up a little too much, sipping on a memory. That bottle's far from empty. The last thing I need is another thing to love.
Another thing to love.
Oh, the last thing I need
Oh, the last thing I need
is another thing to love.
love.